Inclusive Employment Tips, Video 4 of 5, Work Induction.
Induction to the job should be in plain English. Plain English is a group of words that it's simple to understand and not too misleadable, and a good sized gap between each paragraph. The problem is these days, it got to be, I'm not having go to university people, but university or a lower writing, and people don't really understand. Just make life more simpler.
Just being very clear with me and very specific is very, very good. And do understand that sometimes people aren't confident with new jobs. Some people like me, I don't ask questions because I'm very bad at prompting. I'm very bad at asking first, but if I'm asked, I'm easy and I can keep flowing. But make sure to prompt those questionings. Do you understand it? Do you need any help? Is there anything else you want to know about this?
I think a really good part or a really important stage of the induction and orientation stage of somebody with a disability starting employment would be, I guess, the same as the interview process. We want to create that environment where people are willing, especially in those initial induction stages, to share some of the ways in which they need perhaps adjustments or accommodations put in place to be able to do their job successfully. And I think if we don't ask those questions in that induction or orientation space, we're just going to be setting all of ourselves up for perhaps a harder or a less positive experience moving forward.
I'm going to use my own experience when I transitioned across to BDO. It was post-interview. I'd already signed an employment contract, so I had a job secured with them. The HR person at the time contacted me and said, hey, look, would love to catch up for a quick coffee before you start. And perhaps we can have a bit of a look around the office as well, and just if there's anything that you can see that may be a perceived issue or anything like that for you, just let me know. But very casual about it. It was very nonchalant. It was very organic. It wasn't awkward at all, and I really got to give kudos to that, because it gave you the security that you weren't going in your first day and going, oh, is there going to be anything a little bit funky that you would still make a workaround for, but you're already well versed for it, so you could come in day one and you already knew the environment that you're walking into.
I go back to 1997 after a successful job interview with the City of Salisbury. On my post-appointment interview, they brought together managers from the building department, from traffic control and management, from the IT department, people and culture. There was a group of about 6 or 7, as well as my own manager and her general manager. And the discussion was really drilling down beyond what were some examples of adjustments you might need, to going through things like, well, how are you going to learn to get around this building, and what might we need to do to make that accessible? You've talked about, they said to me, about your screen reader, but how's it going to work with the actual software that we use here? And they went through and listed some of those things. And I said, well, it's going to be a process, and I have some adaptive technology assistance which the federal government pays for, and let's make part of my induction scoping that. And it's exactly what happened. Now, none of these things that ended up happening as a result of that post-appointment interview actually cost them any money, and none of it cost them much time either, because it just wasn't that hard, but it made a big difference to how quickly I could start up in that job.
Inclusion is coming. Don't let your organization be left behind. This is the 4th video in a 5-part series. This series provides practical inclusion tips you can easily implement for each of the following stages of employment: job advertisements, job interviews, work induction, and workplace culture. We thank Michael Taggart, Ronnie Ware, Gavin Berner, Daniela Biaggi, and Lauren Spear for sharing their time and expertise. This video is a Purple Orange production. Get in touch to learn more. 08-8373-8388. admin@purpleorange.org.au, www.purpleorange.org.au.